All right, good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I did a layout update, so I've got a bunch of little things going on here. Most of them are not track related, but they are rolling stock mostly and engines. So I'll just give you a bit of an update. Done a few details as well, but this is the first one I want to talk about. So this guy here had a Tsunami 1 decoder in it, and it wasn't really behaving too well. And I, by chance, had the opportunity to pick up some Locksound Selects and Locksound V5s, so I did, and I managed to take the Tsunami 1 out of here and sell it. And I've got a decoder buddy in there now with the Locksound Select. And just so happens that what I wanted to pair it with was the Rapido SW1200RS, and that came with a Locksound Select. And so now they actually run quite nicely together. So if I just spark them up. So I've got the Rapido a bit louder than the GP15. I like that sound a bit better. Biggest improvement here is now I have the beacon working properly. I am going to do this guy up quite extensively as well, so I got to take it apart. But I do like how this one runs. It's very smooth. It's got a heavy engine, and so I'll just give you a chance of letting them run together, see how they go. So there they go. They sound quite nice together. Alright, so that's those two. I've got them nicely consisted. I'll let those go off into the distance. And then the next big deal I've done is in my engine house right now. And I'll zoom in on that guy. So you can see him. I'll just have him come out now. So some of you guys may have seen this already, some of it, but it hasn't been finished. Now it's done. So this is my GP38, and there's a lot of work to do this one, to be honest. It started life off as a Canadian Pacific GP38, not a Dash 2. And so I had to heavily modify it to resemble a GP38. Now this guy's got Locksound 5 inside him with a decoder buddy as well. Lots of lighting features on him. So he's got the flashing beacon on the front, and I managed to separate the number boards from the front headlight, so that's nice. Obviously ditch lights there, and he's got the flashing beacon on the back as well, and ditch lights at the rear as well. Okay, and I'll probably end up doing another video on this guy alone. And I just wanted to show this too. So this is my transfer caboose that I've done, and this one got a bit of special treatment as well. So it's basically a sound and light show on my layout now. So I made that little end of train device there, and I got a flashing red LED in there. Now he's battery powered, not track powered, so he's got a switch on the bottom you got to turn on. But I kind of think it's the best way to go. It's simple and it's effective. So that's it for my custom stuff, and I'll let him go off into the distance there. So I did get a few more acquisitions, or a few more purchases. So there's a couple Athearn Genesis there with Tsunami 2s inside them. I'll bring them over one by one and show you. So first one, I've been after an SD75i. This is an SD70i. You guys have probably already seen this many times. So it's a good runner. I'm not familiar with Tsunami 2 decoders, so I had to basically play around with all the settings to get them to run smoothly. It does now. So yeah, I do like this engine. I am not sure if I'm going to keep it, because I do have my eye on a different engine that I want, another Athearn Genesis. anyway, so I got that guy. I actually won this in a bidding thing. Nobody bid, so I bid. I got the only bid. I got it for a pretty good price. And then I also got this from a guy in Quebec, another GP38. And yeah, he's a good runner too. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this guy. Oh, it's firing up. So he's got some good sound as well. That's a Tsunami 2, Athearn Genesis. So yeah, I don't have plans for this one. I may or may not keep it, not sure. So that's the end of my locomotive acquisitions. And what else I wanted to show you is I went a bit crazy. So I did do quite a bit of weathering on some stuff, and I sold probably 15 cars, and I was able to purchase all of these with that money. So I think there's about 28 to 30 sitting in here. So this whole yard is basically what I bought in the last couple months. I'll just go over some of them. Some of the more interesting ones. I've already done up a few. This is quite a good one here. So this is just a regular Walters flatbed, and it's been done up. I basically tore off all the stirrups and all the grab irons that came stock, and I put on my own grab irons. It's got 58 KD 58 or 158s on there. The load is removable. The load was made from dollar store wire, so this load cost about 75 cents. And then this is 40 thou by 40 thou styrene, and some very, very thin copper wire to hold the bundles together. And then this black, I guess, what do you call it, strapping, is actually safety tape. It's from the black and yellow safety tape. This is the black. So it's actually sticky, which is quite nice because you can wrap them individually, and it sticks, so you don't really have to do much. Anyway, I made that removable. More on the flatbed here. This is the first time I've actually put scenery on my flatbed, so it's got a bit of greenery here, some grass growing in some of the grooves. So that's some of the, I guess, rotted boards and some rust to go along with that. So I really like this car. It's got the CP safety striping on it, the red and white, and it's got all the end details going as well. So kind of took this from nothing up into, you know, what I kind of want to keep around. It's got lots of spatter on the ends, but yeah, and then the deck has got lots of stains on it as well. So I'm pretty pleased with this one. I did do another one, a Burlington Northern one, and I sold that to a guy in Colorado. So I'm keeping this one. I guess I did two. I'll keep one, sell one. What else do we have here? I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these guys, but I'll load them up. I got a bunch of flatbeds, and I'll get rid of those. And then I got a whole pile of gondolas. So now I have about 12 gondolas. I'm just waiting for what do you call those? One of those cooking torches to come in from China. And I've got a butane cooking torch thing that I'm going to do. I think I saw this on Dan's Railroad. So every one of these is going to get pretty much munted up and loads applied. But I've always wanted the railgons. I ended up getting two of these. I got 3 CPs. These ones are really nice cars from Atlas. And I did get this. So these are all Athearn ones and Atlas ones. Fantastic. I got 7 of these guys too. So these are the Atlas center beams. They're really nice cars. They're fantastically detailed. And what I ended up doing with these ones is I made a whole pile of loads for them too. So these are like solid steel, what do you call them? I guess ingots. And what this is actually very, very thick copper wire. So I had to cut them, shape them, straighten them because the wire was in a coil. But again, it's the safety tape for the wrap. And then I made the wooden blocking on the ends there. If you can see that. Yeah, there we go. So these are all removable. They actually do weigh quite a bit when you put them all together. So I'm trying to minimize the number per car, because if I have a load of these, you're going to need about 3 or 4 engines to pull them up a hill. Anyway, the cars are fantastic. I like them a lot. I've got 7 of them. I probably will sell 2 with the loads. I've got 4 with the loads right now. Took a hideous amount of time to build these loads, but they look really cool, I think. And they do make the car track a lot better as well, just having the weight, because the cars aren't that heavy to begin with. So yeah, that's another custom load I've been building. And I guess the next row back is a bunch of tank cars that I got. These are Athearn Genesis. I'll get rid of these guys. So you can see them. So I've always wanted my my acid tank car, and I finally bit the bullet and paid full price for one of those. So this guy here, it's a Prime for Grime. I think I'm going to actually undo the Prime for Grime part of it and make it a bit darker red. These ones I got from the same guy out east, or out eastern Ontario. Really good deal on those. And then I got, which I thought were propane cars, but it's actually anhydrous ammonia. Oops. So it's not a red hazard placard, it's a green one. So just beware, guys, the Procar ones aren't all propane. One thing worth mentioning, really impressed with the ready-to-run versions. So this is a ready-to-run one. All the stirrups are actually metal. The end cages are metal. And my wife actually knocked one of these off the table, and it came out quite well. The stirrup didn't break. It just bent a little bit, and I bent it back. So, you know, if anybody's wondering if these things are delicate, they are to a certain extent, but they are also quite robust. So definitely the metal stirrups, I would say, is one of the selling points for that. And actually, they got a lot of detail compared even to the Athearn Genesis ones. They don't have the roller bearing, rotating roller bearing caps, but and they don't have as much detail on the bottom, but they're pretty nicely detailed for the price. And then the final row is a whole whack of boxcars, and these being the Gundersons. That's a Surrey one, and that's a CP one. I'm definitely keeping those. I like those. What's the other one here I got? There's the, see if I can, my tow one, Texas, Oklahoma, and Eastern. I thought that was quite cool with the offset doors. Never had one of those. And then Wisconsin Central over there, and a fairly cool GTW one. This one had the roof already done. So I've got pictures for all these on Railroad Pictures Archive. So I've got example photos that I'm going to weather up to match. That's about, oh, one more thing, I guess. 2 more things, actually. So I've been making my own turnouts now. So here's a number 7. And I got 3 of them built so far. And I got 2 number 5s. So they're code 83 and code 70. I did buy some code 55 rail. I'm going to try and do a curved turnout of code 55. Really loving making these things, and I think what I'm going to do is slowly replace my Pico turnouts. I'll keep all the Pico stuff for the staging, and then my visible portions will be all code 83, code 70, and code 55. And I've been cutting my own ties and my own PC board as well on the table saw. I think I showed you guys that already. But one of the things I did was my fence slipped a little bit, and I made a whole whack of ties that were a bit too fat for my liking. And so rather than put them in my switches, I made a little tie stack. So that's just a bunch of ties glued together. Obviously not very well because they're coming apart. But yeah, that's one of the things I've seen in a lot of Ontario railroads is the giant tie stacks they seem to have kicking around. Yeah, I think that's about it. But that's my layout update. I do have a plan for getting rid of my Helix, and I think it's going to be a good one. So I will share more details on that when I get it done, and I'll do a better update on that, the new DTW. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been working on, quite a bit actually. Anyway, thanks for watching till the end if you did, and hopefully you like and subscribe. Anyway, have a good evening. Happy Easter.